So now we turn to Ritual 5, realm of the planet Saturn, the judgment seat. And the aphorism is to take the hard but just decision, bring strength and moral victory. But Saturn, or Jehovah, has to rely in the end on this realm and the lightning flash of the Shekinah, the divine, the Holy Spirit, which Christ called the Holy Spirit, Ruach, Sophia, which descends upon the head of the God, giving him the power to exercise true judgment involving both heart and head, justice with compassion. So now let us find ourselves in the temple of alchemy. Priest alchemist addresses the twin apprentices. The true alchemist looks within for the hidden voice, Filia Vocis, the Shekinah. Let us invoke the presence that inspires great Jehovah. The priest as alchemist invokes. I invoke the Shekinah, inspirer of all prophecies, the great sea, the consuming fire, the tree of life, she who is veiled upon the throne of grace. I am called mightiest of the mightiest, yet I am she who reveals the mysteries, not to the proud, the ambitious, the hypocrites, but through an old woman living lonely on a hillside, through a small girl hiding from unkind elders. Know the secret of prophecy, which is no secret. All time, past, present, future, is spread before you as the promised land. As you travel upon your path through life, you only know your past way. You cannot know of unexpected love, new friends and enemies who await you round a hidden bend in the path. Yet all these are already there, hidden from your sight. To see beyond the veil is to know the future and how it stems from the past. I am she who was and is and shall be, containing all place and time. Do not attempt to lift my veil. This way is presumptuous and may bring madness or death. Rather earn my grace, and then you shall eat of the fruit of my tree of light. All give thanks to this holy oracle of the Shekinah. The priestess alchemist speaks. Aiden, you have for too long studied the occult traditions with your analytical mind. You need the magic of Urania. As for you, Elaine, you avoid study and text, preferring inspiration, so you are often inaccurate and so miss useful knowledge. You do need to learn how to make informed choices and abide by them, not swayed by a desire to please, but make balanced judgment between your heart and your mind through divine inspiration. So now enter the realm of the pattern Saturn, seat of judgment, ruled by the Titan, the god Saturn, but also inspired by the divine light of Shekinah. Priest alchemist, we shall accompany you through your ordeal. Now I suggest you join in this yourself. See what happens. I make my way up the avenue leading to the temple of the sacred planets. I enter and acknowledge the golden orb set in a high place in the center, sending forth rays of divine light. I approach the portal of Saturn in the southwest. Above is a sign of Saturn, an equal-armed cross over a waxing moon. On one side is a painting of a man surrounded by implements, a set square, a pair of compasses, and a crystal pyramid with an eye in it for some reason. On the other side of the threshold is a blindfolded woman holding a pair of scales. On one pan is a ruby heart, on the other a feather. I realize I am entering the judgment hall, to face the throne of the veiled Shahina, she who is the voice beyond. In the beginning is the word. I feel solemn as I pass through the gates. What a delightful surprise! Here is no terrible veiled state, but a laughing young queen surrounded by courtiers, enjoying a sumptuous banquet. Oh, good! I like parties. Amidst the glittering profusion of food is a stuffed peacock with outspread tail. A palace made of icing sugar and gilded cupids holding bowls of fruit. I gather I'm in the 17th century. I have made a study of historical costume. I'm wearing a pretty pink dress of the period and rather silly ringlets. Indeed, I must be about 15 years old, because I'm taking such childish pleasure in the party. Behind me is a soberly garbed man, looking grave. Why should he? Suddenly there's a fanfare of trumpets. All gaze at a doorway through which footmen arrive, carrying high a gigantic pie on a dish. This is led before the Queen and her ladies in ornamental chairs, and the noblemen about her. The pie is set before her. Are we to find singing blackbirds within? Suddenly I feel uneasy. Now I'm frightened. A minute human arm breaks through the crowd. At first, I think I see a tiny baby climbing out of the pastry, but no. This is an adult midget. He bows to the Queen. The company roar with laughter, but I do not. I feel cold anger. And as I feel this anger, suddenly it changes to pure prophecy, because I'm being struck by lightning, as if hitting the very lowest anger I can feel. I call upon the highest. I am struck upon by a lightning flash right through my body, in a sort of zigzag from my head to my feet. My anger has changed to inspired prophecy. Wretched fools, you laugh at those who are born unlike yourselves and make their lives a torment, targets for ridicule. You are petty. You jeer at the antics of the insane in your asylums. Your executioners cut off the ears of those you call heretics, imagining yourselves to be Christians. Hearken to my prophecy. Your kingdom shall be destroyed. Your queen shall flee, penniless. Your nobles sold into the very slavery you inflict on others for your estates abroad. As for cropping ears, you shall lose your very heads. Alas, even your king. I feel heroic now, not petty, stupid little girl with ringlets, but a heroine ready to be burnt or beheaded. Instead of the whole, I feel like Joan of Arc almost, whom I've always admired. I feel transfigured, full of light. But instead, the whole company burst out laughing. The giver of the feast, a handsome man, richly dressed, very showy, says, "Hearken to the pretty little maid, now she's drunk. She should be put to bed by her nurse, with a posset to restore her own head." I burst into tears, humiliated. Then the tiny man put his hands into mine, and I am glad I spoke out. The serious man looks now pleased with me. He is bringing me back to the gateway of Saturn and Shahina. He says, "Those who make others feel small fear this for themselves. I understand. Bullying at school, petty spite, minor cruelty are not minor. They can injure the soul more than injury to the body, and can only be recycled by the alchemy of divine light from above. How quickly I'm back here with you all. It was so real. That sort of thing happens every day, not huge tragedies, huge sort of cyclones and hurricanes, but petty unkindness that break the heart and even can lead to suicide. Elaine is given a glass of water to help her recover consciousness. She's very shaken. She keeps saying it was so real. The company agree that she has well deserved her alchemist degree of Saturn, because she's even seen her own faults. Perhaps she's rather frivolous. And she has put in really hard work that year. It is true that divine light does not always come to great sages and philosophers, but can come to a silly girl with ringlets who suddenly feels a surge of compassion. I feel one can look into oneself and find people one has made fun of way back at school, one has been unkind to people perhaps who are not able to answer back, like people, waitresses, waiters. One may have been too brusque with somebody who needs one's help, and yet it is those acts of cruelty that damage our soul. But our job is, in the home, to teach people to respect all that is. This is an ongoing task, but it does help to develop one's own soul from experience through the divine light of the Shekhinah more than the regulations of Jehovah and Moses, which are useful for people doing outside tasks, well, like laying down the law. This is the other law brought through by Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Christ, Mary, and above all by Isis. For Isis is she who seeks out those who are lost. Not only Osiris, but you and me. I feel myself that the teachings of Isis are very comprehensive. She seeks out those who are lost, but they are expected then to take care of themselves. Ra is dying in the east, the sun god. The legend has it she takes him into her body, right through the dark night sky. You can call that human incarnation if you like, right the way through. And then she gives birth to him at dawn as Horus, the sun god. He has his female counterpart, they all do, and that would be Hathor or Harut. But the point is, he does rise and shine, and I think when we've had any intuition, any divine experience, there is a tendency to shut oneself off in case one's laughed at. So I think self-confidence is really what we need, to believe when we get the lightning flash, listening to music, a moment of love, something divine, yes, to be loyal to it, not to go back and tell lies and say, oh, nothing happened, or it was only a dream, only a vision. It was nothing. I admired Bernadette of Lourdes sticking to her story despite everybody going at her to give way. And they were wondering whether to put her in an asylum or prison, or, well, finally, luckily, it was a convent. People think I have no shyness. I'm extremely shy. Nobody believes that. But I want to share, and that desire is stronger than to keep it secret. There's nothing secret about love.